why did Iran attack these terrorist groups? China has already said that they would like to be a mediator, and China would be acceptable to both. And India, of course, have supported the attack against the Iranian attack. Of course, we can attribute it to the emergence of a new world order, or the pangs of a birth of a new world order. This is a major historic development because such a thing has never occurred between Iran and Pakistan, and Iran has been playing a mediatory role altogether in that region. Even China is part of it, and the US is very much part of it when Iran is involved and Pakistan is involved. So it's a highly explosive situation, but it looks to me that they will quietly finish it off. It's been already reported that China is doing some kind of mediation between the two. So this is a signal to be taken into account, particularly as we ourselves have concerns for Balochistan. They are both, Iran and Pakistan are vital for China. China, as you know, is supporting the Taliban government in Afghanistan. And Pakistan has always been a all-weather friend of China, and that has been one of our problems right from the beginning. Pakistan has been wooing China basically to, create a threat for us, and this has happened for many years. And now China itself has become a threat to us because of these various developments which have taken place, particularly after the attack in Ladakh. No, but Pakistan has tremendous military strength. I've been seeing comparisons with us. In certain things, they even match us in terms of number of, tanks and various other things. So all the money that the Americans have invested in Pakistan at the time of the war against terror, etc., there are lots of equipment and machinery. The money is less, but the equipment and machinery still remain with them. So for a strike like this, Pakistan certainly has the capacity. But they certainly do not have the capacity to engage in an all-out war with Iran. That's out of the question. So the Americans are not behind this, I think. But in a situation like that, they would rather support Pakistan than Iran, because Pakistan is an old ally of theirs, and Iran has been a headache for them. So, but at the moment, I don't think they will take a side and support Pakistan vis-a-vis Iran, particularly since there is no immediate need to take a position of that kind. Iran is now more concerned about what is happening in the Red Sea and the issues arising out of that. And that is why this is even more strange, and also the big issue of Hamas versus Israel. So there is a big stir in the whole Middle East situation. And then for Pakistan and Iran to have a spat like this, I think is somewhat strange. Well, Iran, we have an age-old relationship, very important. And even though there have been some difference of opinion recently because of the China linkage, the railway line which was supposed to be built by us was transferred to China. I believe there were reports of that kind. Chabahar port also, there were some difficulties. But we have remained friendly to Iran in spite of instigation from United States to strengthen the sanctions and take action against Iran, etc., on the nuclear issue. But since the nuclear deal is still under discussion, this has not become an issue at the moment, creating any demand for us to do anything about it. So, but it is an evolving situation, and China's role and Iran's linkage with China is certainly disturbing from our point of view. And India, of course, have supported the attack against the Balochis, Iranian attack, saying that, like in the case of Hamas, we condemned Hamas first before we talked about Palestine. So wherever there is a terrorist situation comes and somebody wants to strike terrorists, then India would always support it, because success of terrorism in any part of the world is considered contrary to our own interests. I was saying that the United States is the only superpower and they're a global policeman, so they would naturally be involved in anything that happens anywhere in the world. That is quite normal. In the earlier days, Soviet Union was there to stop them. But now Russia is preoccupied with its own problems, and therefore they are not likely to interfere and not go around in the world looking for American presence or countering them. So the US, it's only a matter of money to interfere in any part of the world and cause regime changes. They don't hesitate to do that. Europe is the most difficult, arena at this moment, because changes after the UK left the European Union, and then the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and the need for Europe to be unified against Russia, and therefore relations with Russia has deteriorated with many of these countries. European countries. So any kind of détente which had appeared in Europe has now disappeared. So that's also part of the issue of the problem. And the Americans are not as involved in Europe as they used to be. They had withdrawn some support and presence and so on. So they are not allowing Ukraine to join NATO. So there are others who have joined NATO, and all those are gathering momentum for Russia to do something. So Europe is very much at the center of a possible conflict at the moment. Not like before. Europe enjoyed peace for a long time after 400 years of war. But now they seem to be, though the Western Alliance is fairly well established, but the amount of money that the US is willing to invest in the security of Europe has also been a question. And where will UK go? All these have become a challenge to Europe. We ourselves have good relations with most of them. France, as you know, very close to us. Germany, UK trade agreement is coming up. So from our perspective, I think Europe is fairly favorable. But among themselves and Russia and Russia's closeness to us may also be a troubling point for the Europeans. But we are standing firm on that in spite of our close relations with the US. We are maintaining our kind of friendship with Russia, and also maintaining arms supplies to a great extent. Though there has been a reduction, we don't hear about S-400 missiles and so on. So there may be some difficulties on their side, or Russian side, to have these things produced and supplied to us. So the supply may have reduced because of Russia's own problems. Naturally, the changing coalitions in Europe, because many of these countries had coalition governments, which had a mix of different elements. And therefore, this conservatism or patriotism, etc., were not very evident. This rise of conservatism or rightist elements in Europe is a matter of concern, not directly to us. But certainly it raises concern about European unity and European Union's ability to work as one unit, if they have within them different shades of politics. But it's not yet a serious problem. Italy, yes, Netherlands, yes. but it is not spreading as fast as one could have imagined. This time they wanted to bring this back to the agenda. But they knew very well that if that agreement between Saudi Arabia, Israel and the US was signed, it was almost at the point of being signed. And all these Abraham Accords and all that changing the whole situation. So Saudi Arabia was the last straw. Saudi Arabia was holding back while encouraging others to compromise with Israel. And but Saudi Arabia started showing signs of being able to ready to sign the tripartite agreement, Israel, US and Saudi Arabia. And that would have meant, and there was no talk about Palestine anywhere in the international conference, in G20 even, nobody talked about Palestine. So Palestine was off the shelf, off the, what shall we say, the oven, and somebody had to put it back. And they made a suicidal attack in order to do that, and they succeeded. Now this agreement with Saudi Arabia, Israel and the United States will not come for years together. So they have succeeded in that. That was their mission. And now they will try to consolidate whatever gains they have made in certain areas, still being able to remain in these tunnels in Gaza and so on. And holding on to the Israeli hostages is a big issue. The Israelis, my main concern is Israelis being in the custody of Palestinians or Hamas. That's a big insult to them. So that is why I think this situation is already 25,000 people have died. And how far has it to go? And there seems to be no. Netanyahu just said categorically that there is no two-state solution, and he is telling it to the Americans. So, because the Americans have started talking about a two-state, no, they have always been in favor of a two-state solution, and they almost pulled it off in Oslo, but it was not implemented. So now, everybody in the world believes that that is the only solution, except Israel. So when Israel will be brought to that realization, we don't see anything in that direction. They have categorically stated that this is not their concern. And now they are saying not only is it not a concern now, he even said, even after the situation in Gaza is stabilized, we will not have that option for consideration. Well, that is my fear, because we thought 2023 would be a peaceful kind of, regeneration and reconciliation and all that. But that turned out to be worse than 2022. And more wars are broken out in this particular year, with Russia starting from there even to Azerbaijan and Armenia and Guyana and Venezuela. So all kinds of things which were lying dormant seem to be coming up. Of course, we can attribute it to the emergence of a new world order, or the pangs of a birth of a new world order, because no country seems to be happy with its own situation. Even the Americans are not happy with what they are. So everyone wants a change in the world order. But in what direction will it go? Will it go as, say, democracies versus autocracies? Or will it go like, poorer countries against richer countries because of the resources? Will it be oil? All that we do not know. But the general churning that is taking place has not yet thrown up anything. The Amrit is yet to come. Meanwhile, everyone is trying to do, what we call the balancing, rather than taking specific positions. And so this has to happen after some time. We are seeing some elements of it. India has become closer to the US as a result of this. China and Russia have become allies. And so these are major changes in the situation. So the Quad is a factor. China is concerned about Quad and the AUKUS and all that. So nobody is really committing themselves to a particular position because the whole thing is in a state of flux.
From breaking news, detailed analysis, in-depth interviews and explainers, follow the Times of India. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like our videos and hit the bell icon to stay updated with the latest.